dear students, welcome back to my YouTube English channel, English with MALLICK sir. In the previous classes, we have discussed about the significance of punctuation marks in spoken and written composition. It is very essential in our academic writing and side by side professional writings. Therefore, it is very necessary on the part of students to be cautious and careful in using the punctuation marks in suitable places for right type of expression and clear understanding. Yes, in today's segment we are going to discuss about the idea in connection with the use of full stop and side by side note of interrogation or question mark. Yes, full stop marks a longer pause than a comma and a semicolon. Yes, what we have discussed, comma is used for a shorter pause, but definitely the super comma, it means semicolon, is used for longer pause. Okay, and but full stop marks the pause, then the comma and the semicolon, it means it marks the end of thought and the beginning of another thought, in the sense that with the use of full stop we end the process of our expression and again we start another thought. Yes, it is used to indicate the end of declarative. Yes, full stop is used to indicate the end of declarative, imperative, compound, complex, complex sentences, excepting question, exclamatory sentences. Yes, question or exclamation, naturally full stop is not used. Okay, am I clear? Now see the next idea in examples. Don't waste time. This is important sentence and here we find full stop. This is the ending of our thought, or that is advice. Yes, I don't take part in dance competition. This is the statement sentence. This is imperative sentence. What we have discussed. The subject is you. I don't take part in dance competition. Here, this is a statement sentence. Negative statement because I don't. Yes. And here we find the full stop. We have supper at 10 p.m. Full stop. This is what you call positive statement. Yes, and therefore Rahul, Sarita and Manoj went to school. Here a compound sentence. Rahul, Sarita and Manoj went to school. Yes, this is very simple and this is a compound sentence, and here we find full stop at the end of this sentence. Yes, again another matter, that is what we say, teacher said that man is mortal. Yes, a complex sentence. Teacher said that man is mortal. Teacher said that man is mortal. It is a complex sentence and we find full stop at the end of it. As you sow, this is also another complex sentence. As you sow, so you reap. This is the reality. It means our results depends upon our action. It means the way we discharge our duties, accordingly we get the result. Yes, therefore it is said, as you sow, so you reap. Here I've been two classes and full stop is here. We find the matter that how full stops are used to at the end of simple, complex, compound sentences. Yes, if it is not based on either question or exclamatory. Yes. Okay, to mark abbreviation and initials. but in modern English it can't be it can be omitted. Yes, how? For example, here we find abbreviation MLA, Member of Legislative Assembly. Whenever these phrase will be abbreviated, then we find the use of full stop here, that is dot mark. Yes, here we find MLA or MLA. It is also correct. Both are correct because in modern English these dots or full stops are omitted. MA, UNESCO, you may remove dot. UNO, December. These are the initials. These are the abbreviations, but here we find the initials. December, yes, for December we can write DEC dot. February, similarly, and here we find the matter, the full stop, which is usually called dot, and yes, this is used in case of abbreviations and initials. This is the initial factor, and December, February. AM, anti-meridian, what we usually use, AM, PM, post-meridian, anti-meridian, and Dr. S. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, for Dr. Sarvapalli S. Radhakrishnan. IE, exemplary, here we find that is, you see, and here we find that is, and it is a Latin word, etc. For etc. we use dot at the end of it, not in between. So here we find etc. So these are the matter how these that is abbreviations and initials are used in our day-to-day writing. Yes, and we should be very much careful at the time of using full stop in this connection, and either the case of abbreviations and case of initials. Now come to the next idea, that is an internet. You see, whenever in an internet and email address, full stop is called dot. Yes, full stop is called dot. So here we find the matter that how ready female, and here .com, gmail.com, www.opepa.in. You see, these are used internet email addresses. Email address. Yes, full stop is called here dot. And yes, this is also another example in connection with the use of full stop. The next idea what we find, that is in mathematics, decimals. Whenever we express decimals in writing, usually dot is given, full stop or dot mark. Yes, 2.40, and here we find 0.08, or what we say 8 by 100. So here in decimal cases in mathematics, we also use what? That is full stop, which is we may say a dot. Full stop is called also dot. And yes, here we find in indirect questions, naturally questions, direct questions and indirect questions. The differences are there. We will discuss in subsequent classes very clearly about whenever we will discuss about the spoken English, how question sentences are formed, how there are different types of questions, and indirect question is also a question. Whenever we ask somebody directly, this is what we call direct question. Rahul told his friend, "How are you?" Rahul told his friend, "How are you?" "How are you?" is the direct question. Rahul asked his friend how he was. how he was. It is indirect question. So here say listen, what we find in indirect speech. Yes, it will be discussed in the subsequent classes very clearly. Remember, see here how in indirect questions, we also use we also use full stop. She asked me how I was. She asked me how I was. Whenever we can say direct question. For direct question here we find the matter that she asked, comma, how are you? This is a direct question. How are you? She asked, how are you? She asked me how I was. So this is what you call indirect question. And in this case, whenever we use question mark here, in this case we have to use a full stop. This is a very plain affair, and they wanted to know if we had enjoyed the party that day. They wanted to know if or whether we had enjoyed the party that day. Note of interrogation. This is also another very interesting factor. We put question when we want to know about anything. Usually we put question. So question, what we have discussed, that direct and indirect question, direct question, and number of question factors are there. Yes, here we find that a question mark, or that is what we call note of interrogation, or we can say question mark. Yes, note of interrogation or question mark. See here, it is used after direct question. Yes, beginning with either an auxiliary verb, or a double-edged word. Yes. Direct questions are of two types. One, beginning with a double-edged word, that is a question word, who, whom, whose, which, what, when, where, how, etc. And side by side, auxiliary verbs. It means there is primary auxiliary verbs, be, have, do, families, and side by side, modals. 13 modals. So you see whenever we use the auxiliary verbs at the beginning of a question sentence, it is usually called yes no question, because the answer becomes yes or no, and yes, it begins with the auxiliary verb. Yes, it may be a primary auxiliary, it may be a modal auxiliary. And at the end of this question, usually in note of interrogation or question mark is given. Yes, as you know. Right. Now here we find examples. Can you see, can you solve this problem? In this direct question, can you solve this problem? Here a note of interrogation. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? Yes, this is what you call double-edged question, because how is there? These are the direct questions. And now come second idea. Never use a question mark at the end of indirect. Yes, or reported question. It is whenever we convert direct question into indirect at the time of changing the narration or changing the speech. Here we find that she asked why I was late. She asked why I was late. Yes, here this is full stop. This is indirect question. Here we find she asked about my late coming, and therefore why I was late. Full stop. This is not the question, because it is indirect question. Yes, and he wanted to know if it was raining, and the matter is here and with a full stop. And therefore question mark or note of interrogation is not given at the end of indirect questions. Okay? Question mark is used in a question tags. Yes, question tags. This is another very interesting idea. Tag question. We will specifically discuss about tag question. Why tag question? Why should we tag question in our spoken and written English? What is the importance of tag question? Yes, it will be discussed in a later classes. Remember, whenever we will express in a spoken English. And yes, and here we find the matter, tag question is a question, just in short, that whenever we want to draw the attention of the listener about our speech, we usually use a tag question. Question tag is used after a statement sentence. It may be negative or positive. Even after the positive statement, we use negative tag, and after negative statement, positive tag is used. Tag question is used. Yes, how? Listen here. You are an Indian. You are an Indian. Yes, aren't you? Aren't you? Here we find the comma and the question mark, and here apostrophe to have been contracted form, because tag questions are written in the contracted form. The beginning letter of tag question becomes small, contracted form is used, and finally a question mark is put to indicate the tag question. You are an Indian, aren't you? So whenever we join in an international organization, someone may put question. You see, you are an Indian, aren't you? Yes, because Indians look something different, and therefore here we find, aren't you? Yes, it means the question maker wants to make himself sure whether he has guessed properly or not. Yes, therefore, aren't you? Let's go fishing. Let's go fishing. It's a proposal or suggestion. Whenever we usually put question to our friends or dearers and nearers about a suggestion that let's go fishing, shan't we? Shan't we? Now come rhetorical questions. These questions are not meant to be answered. They are asked to provoke thought. They are asked to provoke thought. You have been late. Someone might say, it is the time for, is it the time for returning? You see, is it the time for returning? Is it the time for returning? For example, you are late in returning to your home. Parents, father or mother can ask you such type of question. Is it the time for returning? It means that you are actually late, and therefore you have no answer. You will remain silent, but I will realize the importance of father saying, is it the time for returning? In Odia, what we say. So attention here. It means father or mother is not satisfied with your returning home because you are beyond time. And yes, say, is it the time for returning home? Yes, yes. Question mark. Question mark is given here. It means the time in which you have returned home is totally unacceptable. Who cares? Who cares? Sometimes we say, who cares? Who cares? These are rhetorical questions. Who cares? And here, in this type of rhetorical question, who cares? Why not? Are you crazy? Are you serious? Yes. Are you serious? Whenever we say something surprising matter, that Amit has got a nice job, and you are not in a mood to believe it, you say, are you serious? It means whether you are seriously speaking so or not. Yes, are you serious? Who cares? Whenever we carelessly say, who cares? Whatever the consequence it may be, I don't care. Who cares? And here we say, Who doesn't like to live peacefully? Yes, this is a very interesting factor. Who doesn't like to live peacefully? Yes, everybody in the world wants to live peacefully, but the way of living decides whether he wants peace or not. Who wants to die? Who wants to die? So this is here we find that how rhetorical question, and who, because nobody wants to die so early or something like that. Therefore, who wants to? Yes, rhetorical question. I mean, do you really believe money grows on trees naturally? Sometimes we say, do you believe that money grows on trees? Yes. Here, the speaker wants to express that you shouldn't waste money unnecessarily, uselessly, because it is very difficult to earn money, and hence, I mean, do you really believe money grows on trees? This is also a rhetorical question. And who knows? Who knows? It means, I mean, see, listen, daughter, nobody knows the address of God. Yes, who knows? Nobody knows, but there is no reply. Who knows? Yes, clearly. Who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? Everybody wants to earn money, name, fame. Yes. Who wouldn't want to be a millionaire? And this is also a rhetorical question. My dear students, these are very interesting ideas in connection with using full stop and question mark. So here the punctuation marks also changes our tone and voice and expression. This is what you call rising or falling tone, and therefore punctuation marks also play a very important role in spoken English. We will discuss it in a spoken English class. Yes. So with this I conclude. I think you must have understood the use of full stop and note of interrogation in this class. It is no doubt very essential. Go through the video again and again. If you want to take down, you may take down and understand it. Yes, for your better future, better tomorrow. Yes, wishing you all the best and expecting a nice day. I conclude this segment. Thank you. See you in the next segment.